Okay, cool. Looks like we're working. I think I'll shut all this. Alright, yeah. So I'm at home on the laptop and I don't, and I don't know why the webcam video isn't coming through, but I tried fixing it and I couldn't get it working quickly, so I figured it's relatively a low priority issue anyway. So yeah, jumping in, let's see where we left off. Oh right, I wanted to get the resize working. Where's my Vim? Yeah. So the issue is that right now, even though we have a quad set to a specific size, when we resize the screen, it's like stretching it. So we need to actually resize the WebGL render stuff. We already have the functions all set up. It's just about getting it to work in the DOM handler. Like we're passing the scene in, we're passing the render in. In fact, I think the quad scene won't actually do anything when we resize. I don't remember what we did there. What's it going to actually do? Oh, yeah, it actually is. It's going to recalculate the orthographic camera to match the whatchamacallit, the size of the screen, and that makes sense. Cool. But other than that, it's not touching the render. The render is like this separate generic step here, because again, theoretically, we should have like multiple scenes per render. All right. I realized that for this, there is a official demo out there. Awesome. Gen demos. For example, really? No, that's not what I want. Yeah, this is. So if we go to these examples. Oh wow, didn't realize. Yeah. Right? I feel kind of lame about it, but you know, whatever. The truth is, my my wife, soon to be ex-wife, whatever. So she went out tonight, so I'm home with the kids and they're asleep. So yeah, but it's not my real excuse. Anyway, yeah. I mentioned at the beginning, like I'm at home and I'm on the laptop. I couldn't get the webcam to work. I don't know why it's like not coming through. Also, because I'm on the laptop, like I won't really have this other window open. So I wish there was a way to like an IRC like trigger a sound when there's the chat. I don't think there's any options for that. And that kind of sucks. There's no notifications or anything. I think I have to like set up a bot at some point. So anyway, like I'll try and check in on the window every now and then, but I'll probably miss stuff. Anywho, all right. Yeah. Like I think writing a bot could actually be kind of fun to like hook it into like even just a bot that'll like trigger my local sounds or something. But I think it'd be done for free, like hosted on Firebase or something. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so just to catch up, like I have, the past few sessions really have just been about like refactoring and figuring out how to get stuff going in Rust. Right now, Rust and WebGL, I guess, or WAS and BindGen, all that stuff. So right now the issue is that I have this like quad, it's cycling through these colors, just adjusting stuff. When I resize the screen, it's not respecting the new size. Like really it should be a constant size. It just has to like call this function, the render resize, which will resize the WebGL context based on the updated canvas size or the updated window size. It'll like set. Actually, it's doing two things. If I go into the renderer, it is resizing the canvas to match the new window because we just want it to be like full window, and then it's resizing the WebGL viewport to match that updated canvas. And then in the quad renderer, it's that's where I'm keeping the camera in this like scene. Whoops, I used the laptop also. Okay, so we have this like camera matrix. So when it gets resized, then we're resizing the orthographic camera. But anyway, so I have the function set up. It's just about like calling it inside of this callback that happens that we want to set. This is what we want to do. And this should give us an error the last time I left off. Yeah. So now I'm just cheating and looking at how they do it in the BindGen examples because they have a DOM. I don't think it's this one actually. I think it's a different, I think it's like their closure example. It's really cool that they put together like all these like examples. Like, I don't know what we do without these. Like, how in the hell would I have thought to do this? Alright, okay. I do want to break it down a little bit though. Well, or I don't want to, but probably should to understand this a little bit better. Okay, closure, not the usage of closure because closure is long-lived. Okay. So I think that's kind of like my first question. Like ideally, what are we setting here? Set interval with callback and timeout and arguments as 0. I think I have to go look that up. WebAssist window. Okay, what was that function called again? How do you change tabs in Chrome with a keyboard? Now that like I'm getting more and more used to Vim, I just want to do everything with the keyboard. My ADHD kicking in. How to change tabs in Chrome keyboard shortcut, whatever. I tab the other way. Okay, that's good to know. Control Shift Tab. Alt Tab. Is that going to work? Alt Tab. No, of course not, because that's to change windows. Control Tab. Oh, nice. And Control Shift Tab. All right. That'll take some getting used to, but it's better. Okay. Cool. And then Alt Tab. Yeah. Right on. What was I looking for? Set interval with callback and timeout arguments. Okay. Set interval with. Jeez. Okay, this is why we're wrapping stuff and not just using it directly. Look at all these. Set interval with callback, like all these millions of options. Okay, alright, so what it wants is it wants a function, like not a function, it wants this specific JS sys function, which is its own struct. It's not a Rust function, it's like this specific JS value thing. If we look at what we want is set on size. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Why is that not working? On resize, okay. Resize. So this also wants an option function. So it's basically the same thing. So we can look at this example and try and see like what is going on. All right, we can ignore everything up till I think like this point. So and we're just going to get an A as ref unchecked ref. All right. So what is a closure wrap? Why? Okay, because closure is long-lived. Oh, okay, right. And then we're gonna forget it. Okay. We're gonna get dropped in a point in time, but for now I'm going to use the forget to drop that. We don't. Oh man, in our actual app, we don't want to persist them forever. Because we want to be able to like switch scenes and like kind of stop everything. Okay. Fine, but I think we could deal with that later once we like kind of get it working. Okay, so closure I guess is some sort of smart pointer that well, you know what, let's not guess, let's look it up. Again, this is not the actual Rust closure type. I think that's a really confusing point. It's, again, let's like see what it is. But okay, it's under WAS and Bindgen. See, I looked at it before because I was really confused. Okay, a handle to both a closure in Rust as well as JS closure, which will invoke the Rust closure. Yo, alright. A closure is the primary way that a static lifetime closure is transferred from Rust to JS. What the how can you have a static lifetime closure? How does that even make sense? Alright, closure currently requires the closure it's created with have the static lifetime in Rust for soundness reasons. Whenever it is dropped, it will invalidate the JS closure refers to. And use the closure in JS after the closure. I'm not understanding this yet. Alright, let's just like break this down. So we have, the reason I was confused is because this, like, anything that, I thought that anything that's created in Rust can't have a static lifetime. I thought static was only for things that are like kind of outside the program, like like for example, hard-coded strings that are stored in the data section of the binary, and I guess like constant, like global constants or whatever, or global statics. I don't think this is like you can't have a closure that's really a static lifetime that has like a beginning and end like within the context of that of the program. But anyway, all right, let's just go with it for a minute. So we have this closure, anonymous here, and it's an fn mute, okay, because sure, it's not even getting anything from the environment. We're boxing it. So why are we doing that? Honestly, I don't know, but definitely, I guess, just on one foot, it simplifies that we can give closure a pointer. Sorry, this closure wrap pointer. Okay, fine. So we're putting a pointer to a function inside of this thing called closure, and that's what we have. Okay. Okay, now we pass this via reference to the set timeout function. Fine. If we were to drop CB here, it would cause an exception to be raised when the timeout elapses. Right, because then it would be, then this function will be trying to unwrap. But I'm guessing that that's what happens inside of set timeout, is that there's some sort of like unwrap on this, or like unwrap.unwrap that's going to like try and get the thing inside the thing, or the closure inside the box inside the closure. So when that calls, if we dropped CB, it would be invalid. But I don't even get how it would let us do that from the compiler, because we've passed it a reference and then it gets dropped. I thought like the Rust prevents that. But alright. Jump CB would cause an exception of reason with the time, so we return our handle back to JS. What? How? So the JS can tell us later. Oh, unless we're okay. Yeah, fine. Right. We're returning ownership of it. Yeah, fine. So closure handle. All right. Let's see how it's supposed to use. So using. Oh, this wasn't using WebSys. Let's look at WebSys. Same thing. Only the difference is, yeah, we're using WebSys console log. Fine. All this is the same. Window, yeah, okay. Okay. So we call asref to get a jizz. Alright, now let's go look at closure docs proper. Oh, we just want asref. That's the only place it's mentioned. Oh, fine, as ref.js, fine. So that lets us, which just then convert to a function using unchecked ref. Oh, okay. I want to Google that a little bit more, just to like get a little bit more intuition about it, but it kind of makes sense. Okay, a cheap reference to reference conversion is convert a value to a reference value within generic. Okay. Convert a reference of another type. Fine. So we have a reference to, well, okay, yeah. Why is it a reference originally? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Fine. So we're getting a reference to the JS values. Let's go look up JS value just to like get what's going on. It's basically like casting. I don't think I need to like really dwell on it right now. I think I'll get it more the more I use it. But we're basically casting references. Unchecked ref. Okay, now what's this gonna do? What? So it must be some sort of trait. JS cast. Oh, alright, fine. So this must be a trait that JS value implements. Unchecked ref. Performs a zero cost unchecked cast into the reference. Fine. Alright, I wouldn't have like known this, but cool. It's basically just like casting. What I don't get is that this then returns to JavaScript, but we don't want to return to JavaScript. We want to stay in Rust. So how's this doing it? Okay, so that's going to be the big difference, I think. It's here. So we have A, which is closure. We're like basically casting it or unwrapping it. Oh, right. Okay, then that's what this is doing. Fine. Because we're not returning it, it'll get dropped if we don't do this. All right, I feel comfortable enough to like go ahead. Wait, I don't get why it box. Why is this a dynamic dispatch of a function? I don't know why this is like this is a din function, but in this example over here, whoops. Here it's just a box of like fn or fn mute. I think we'll just try and cast it to whatever we can, and then whatever the compiler lets us do, we'll do. I don't really get why the din was in that one, but okay. All right. So I think I was on the right track with this actually. I kind of copy pasted this from stuff before, but okay, I don't know if width and height is really right. If this is really going to give us that. What is on resize going to give us? Shit. Alright, let's just take something. Foo and log foo. Because we have no idea what's coming in here. Alright, wow, we don't really know what this is. Let's pretend it's a string. I mean a U32. Why fn mute? It should just be fn. We don't need to actually move anything. Oh, but we will. Oh, yes, we will. Okay, so we have the closure wrap. So now what we need to do, alright, fine. So now we just copy that other stuff. So I think what it is it's going to be a cb dot as ref, and unchecked ref. I think that's it. Of course, I'm wrong. Hey, unchecked ref. Hey, it compiles. That's cool. Where are we? All right. Shit. This is a hard error message. I don't know. All right. It says option and function. Out of curiosity, I mean, I didn't explicitly. Oh, another message. All right. Yeah. So I'd say the overall goal is that. Yeah, no, so that's my goal, is like the whole thing is going to be Rust, and I'm kind of splitting between two things. One is that I want to write like crates to abstract over WebGL and to handle like WebGL rendering stuff, and then to test it out, like while I'm building it, I have just like these demo scenes, but because the demo scenes are meant to test like, you know, the Rust code, I just want to, and it's also a way that I can like learn how to use it, because the goal is to get to be writing like this kind of stuff, you know, in my like spare time, like in Rust, to get the high performance gains and not have the garbage collection and stuff like that. So I definitely, if I was doing half of it in JS, I'd be flying a lot faster. Like I remember that the first session when I jumped on, I was like, you know, flying through with like, you know, React, and it was really quick, and now I'm like a turtle. But yeah, that's the. It's like tempting what you're saying. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that like I know that I would get to the fun stuff so much quicker if I was just like kind of doing more of what I know. But yeah, it's on purpose, to break my teeth and make myself go through this hell of like this ridiculous error. Like, look at this thing, man. What the. All right. Anyway, yeah. Okay. I mean, asref I think is giving us a reference. I don't think this is going to actually change anything, passing it as a reference, but so yeah, okay. All right. Right now I'm just totally guessing. First of all, maybe if like let's just like not log the thing that was passed in. Let's just console log 1. Resized. This doesn't even need to be fn mute. It could be just fn here, but whatever. Let's leave it in. Okay, alright. That sucks. Why is this happening? And, set on resize. CB. I mean, here for right now, maybe we could just try like not. So closure wrap box new, and then closure. So closure wrap box new. Oh, are we running into that same issue of it's calling it after we've dropped it? I think that's what the problem is. Dot forget. Can we do that? Let's see if this helps us out any. Yeah, alright, good. That's a good sign. right? So now I'm confused, like I don't think we actually need that. Let's bring our foo back in. We don't actually know what this is yet, but let's pretend like it's a U32 and return unit. Just want to see if, whoa, whoops. What's the problem here? What did I do wrong here? Oh. Right, okay. And then right. Did I just miss the parentheses? Yeah, that's all that was. Okay. Good. So let me leak memory here. So we retain the callback between okay. Now let's see, what is foo? This will be interesting because even like Rust thinks it's a U32. Let's see. I think because it's actually going to be a JS object, and so we have to like unwrap that. Wait. Oh, just had interest. How big is the WASM at this stage? So with the binary, meaning not binary, with the like the example code, like not just the library. You're curious about like if I actually package the whole thing all together. So I do have a build script set up, and I have it set up to do the like post processing, like I don't know if it's dead code elimination, but whatever, some optimization stuff. So if I do bundle, where it's at right now. Okay, I know that this is wrong. It's saying 27K, but I think that's because it might even be because of this line, because we're like logging stuff. If I get rid of, which is purely for debugging right now. So I think if I 25K. I still think I think it could be chopped down more, but 25K is not bad. Like that's, yeah. So the library code, I don't know how to see that, like how I can figure that out, like just the library code. Yeah, I'd have to kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to figure that out. If you have any tips for how to figure that out, let me know. But for right now, like with, isn't the size net print out the input? No, it's this. I think that it's this final one. So if I forgot how do you, is it TC? What's, I forgot. But if I just list the let's see. So yeah, it's 26K. Now, out of curiosity, if I like, whoops, wait, what? Where? Oh, okay, yeah. So the JavaScript is 130K, just because it's like including React and just has this like, yeah. So it's with like the JavaScript doing basically nothing but loading React. I mean, React is a major library. There's a lot going on there. But so far we're at 26K versus 130K. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure there's more we could do to optimize it. I had a whole discussion on the Rust GitHub because I was also surprised that my first compiles were like 60K, and it didn't seem right. And it turned out here I'll link to it. There was this whole like just stripping things because I was like logging. I wasn't even logging it. I was like passing. I was formatting a float. That's all, just formatting a float into a string, and that added like 20K to the binary because it suddenly had to include. Oh, now I remember. He told me there's a tool, Twiggy. Twiggy. So let's check this out. Okay, so I think it is optimized right now. But actually, there's no way to really know because I'm doing that post-process stuff. But I think if it had that float bug thing, like here, I think, if I just do this, let me see, this might make it, F32, I think this might trigger the need for it to like import. Why can't I do that? Isn't that legal in Rust? I thought that's legal. Yeah, okay. So I think this might make it, whoops. Yeah, look, now it went up to 56K. So if we run Twiggy, which is just like a Rust analysis tool, so we're not seeing it. So I have to do it without the. Let me add a script to do it without that post-process stuff. Package. 'Cause I'm glad to bring this up because this is going to be like really useful for. Let's see, what do I have? All these npm scripts. So bundle is. Let's see. Let's just add another one. Bundle no opt. No opt, right? And then, sorry, I wish I had the chat window open at the same time. But yeah. Sorry, I'll be back in the chat in a second. So where is it? I'm missing something. Oh, Rust prod. Okay. No opt. I don't know if this is like the right way to set all this stuff up. This is just what I ended up doing, and it's working. So, okay, prod no opt. Okay, so then bindgen prod. No, there's probably a much nicer way of like just passing some like environment variables and setting all this up in like something other than npm, but okay. So Rust bindgen prod no. Whoa, shoot! What did I do? Oh, okay, just open a new tab. Fine. Actually, I think that's what I wanted to do. Subconscious taking over. All right. No opt. So now the whole thing is I want to do it just without this last step. Oh, but then also it's going to do the cargo release stuff. Let's see what this does. I hope we still get some symbols in there. I'll tell you what my concern is that in cargo, I have it set up that in release mode, it's also doing this like opt level S, but I don't think that's really the same thing. I think that's still gonna, I think we'll still be able to see what's going on. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so bundle no opt. Okay. All right, yeah, look at that, 69K. That's where I was at before, so now it's making sense. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't know if you're still here. But check this out. So now when we run Twiggy, Twiggy is a tool for like analyzing the WebAssembly output. We could see that these functions, this is really cool if you're interested in like the size stuff. It even tells you like which functions are taking up like the most space and how much space they're taking. So I thought that was like amazing. So now we could see like that the stuff that's taking up more space than anything is just formatting a float into a string, right? And our total binary is, we can see here, it's like 71K. If we go back and now literally just comment out this line, which is the only place right now in our binary that we're formatting a float, and then bundle again with the no-opt thing, and run Twiggy again. Bam! We're like all that other stuff is gone. But what's interesting is that there's all these other things are taking up a lot more memory, and I think I am doing something wrong here, because this shouldn't be taking up so much. Like, why is it taking up so much? I'm wondering if it's this box, like maybe if we don't pass the U32 here. I'm just wondering, like, oh no. Okay, cool. I don't remember if that's what I had before. Oh, it was a start ticker in both cases. It wasn't the resize handler anyway. Yeah. So let me find that issue on the GitHub. Let's see, it'd be in the WASM bindgen somewhere. I don't know. WASM bind. GitHub. I don't know if it's still an open issue. Yeah, build size considerations. Right. Yeah. So here he is. Here's Alex showing. I'm not trying to pronounce his last name. Crichton. But like really good info. So I'll just link that for you. Yeah, there you go. Oh, what's interesting is also that that like in the original example, I wasn't even actually logging any floats, and it had to do with like converting a JS value, which could be a float, into a string or something, but under the hood by like an automatic toString thingy. But whatever. What's definitely cool though is that, okay, so now we're at, so getting rid of that, now we're down to 37, and then if we bundle it with the post process like optimizer thingy mabobber, then we're back down to 25. Yeah, okay, cool. Did I kill the server? I don't remember which process I killed. I think I did. I did. Okay, whoops. Okay, cool. All right. I think I don't know if I necessarily care about like getting it from the event. I don't. You probably know this, Anders. By the way, is it Anders or Anders? I'm not sure like how to pronounce your name properly, or something else. And actually, I guess you won't be able to tell me because you don't have audio. Okay, it's like you could just write Anders and like anyway. So I like if I grab the size from the window, do you know if that's going to be like the stale value compared to the event? Like kind of in JavaScript terms, if I had like like event like window dot add event listener, I forgot if it's on resize or resize, but let's just say on resize. It's like the event that comes in, like is that event gonna have like more updated data about the size of the window than if I just grab it from like window dot inner width and inner height, I guess I could also just Google it, but though the truth is also I don't think it really matters. Event does not contain the resize. Oh, the event doesn't even have the resize data? Oh, alright. Cool. Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Great. So in this case for sure, since I'm getting the window, how am I getting the window? Where's get window? I don't remember. Oh, right, it's just a function that is grabbing it from the WASM bindgen stuff. Great. So I could just throw all that in here. Ooh. I think I might need to... I don't think it'll be called the initial time, so I think actually I want to do that as like its own function thing. Yeah. Size. Let's put all that in there. Why? Alright, I'll get there in a second. And in the end, we want to return an OK unit. Cannot find value window. Oh, fine. You know what? Do resize. Oh no. Alright, let's fix this one first. No method name resize for ref t. What? Oh, right. Duh. Let's just clean that up, but we don't need the where there. Okay, so one error down. But now this. Alright, expected. You know what, I think we'll be able to see the error a little bit easier over here. Yeah, Expected fn mute found blah 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 blah. Oh, right. No, actually I don't get it. Do we have to declare? I thought the fn mute is talking about like what gets passed into the closure. But I mean, just out of curiosity, let me try and see what happens if we if we add this to the. So let's just copy all this stuff. Oh man, this. How do I specify? I don't get how that's going, but okay. Let's just start and see what happens. Generic arguments for box, not a comparison. Right? Well. Shit. Oh. Alright. Because we can't pass the ownership down, I think. No. Never mind. I don't know. Wait. Let me... First, I think I'm going to have to try like different stuff here, so I'm going to comment this out. And... Okay, so far so good. So I think I just want to like break this down one thing at a time and see what I can get working here. Oh, that works? Why does that work? So if I just like stuff all this in here, then it's cool. Alright. And then maybe I could just call that callback at the beginning instead of... Oh, okay. That's fine. It's result error. Can I do that? Okay, I think I probably could do this if you know what, I could probably just call this, if I call this a JS value. Map error. Yeah. Good. I'm glad like I've been feeling honestly just like really slow like dealing with all this, that like it's that, so I'm glad I'm not the only one that is frustrated with like getting into Rust at first. But it's pretty cool like how much stuff there is and like how it takes from so many different areas. Like you kind of have to know like C++, and Haskell, to be good at Rust. which is crazy. But, or I mean, not like the full languages, obviously, but like, you know, the like the ideas, you know, like even this, like, you know, so this idea of like mapping, like calling map on an error, like, okay, we don't need to think of this as like a functor, but it's, you know, it's like got to be familiar with like functional programming ideas. And then why do we have to do all this? Is because of all the memory management. It's like there's so much, but we will have superpowers when we get there. So okay, what this, the trait is not well, right, you know what, let's just do this. I don't love it, but the truth is we don't really need to report our errors here, because like where would it go? I think the better way of handling this would probably be that this would be something we would want to like pass a on error callback from JavaScript to handle like errors from there. But again, this isn't going in the library code, and if like we get an error on the window resize, like then we're gonna hit that same error when we do the initial resize, because it'll be like in our renderer resizing stuff, or we'll just get some crazy panic that we'll see in the console. So I've been trying to avoid panics. I've been trying to like handle errors properly, but I think this is a place where it's okay. Yeah, like I mean, really, like to get this like error couldn't get window width specifically when we did get it the first time, and then it's only unable to get it on an actual browser resize. Like that's, I think if we're hitting that, like, you know, we're gonna hit a panic anyway. So, oh, you know what? Maybe that's what I should do then, is I should just panic on purpose instead of mapping it and handling it and doing it silently. That's probably a better idea. So dot unwrap. I think we want to say dot expect. Actually, no. Yeah, unwrap. And then oh wait, whoops. Window equals window size equals get size window dot unwrap. Wait, yeah, alright, cool. Alright. What? Yeah, and by the way, the Neoclide, or I hate saying it, like the cock, like the COC Vim plugin is amazing. I'm really liking it. Like also for TypeScript, but I'm using it also for TypeScript now, and it's great. Okay, what am I looking for? Oh, option type. Alright. So I think I didn't really get like what unwrap does. Moves the value of its own jump because it may panic. It's discouraged, right, yeah. So why can't I unwrap? It's telling me no method name unwrap for type result. Oh. Well, first I mean we're in a result, not an option, but same thing. So oh, with the panic message provided by the error's value, right? Which we actually do have, because we can turn into a string, but that was like what I was trying to avoid was yeah, alright, so let's do expect. And that's actually kind of funny because I went through a whole bunch of headache of like not like we're like creating this native right error from couldn't get window yeah, like handling it as like a native error type, whatever. This isn't great, this could use some cleanup, but I think I'll do that like offline at some point. I'm just like cleaning all this up a little bit. No point to waste energy on that right now. Okay, but now why is this failing? Expect exists, but the following traits are not satisfied. What? What does that mean? Huh? But that's the whole point, is that we're just turning it into our own error. Oh, including the past message and the content of the error. No, we just want it to panic with a string. Yielding the content. Is there any like unwrap? Consumes this of okay, returns continue, otherwise if error returns the default value. No. Like we just want to unwrap and like get a string. Okay, unwraps the result yielding the content of an okay. Yeah. Else it returns opt B. But that has to be the yeah, okay. Okay. I think that'll work. So I haven't really been using any snippets. I mean, that's actually like just old habits. I never really like used snippets in any IDE really. I know I should. Maybe I'll follow up with that, like with you on the fun forum or something, like tips to be faster and better. Because like I know that a lot of times I'm like writing, not even copy paste. Like I'm actually writing like little snippets by hand all the time. So yeah, I'd really love some tips about that. But yeah. Okay, so unwrap or I think that's what I want. So I want unwrap or no, but I want to panic. You know, I think I was on the right track before. Just gonna map window. Okay, get window size. Or actually, we want to and then can we do that? Map and window size, and we'll handle it. Okay. Why is this unused result that must be used? Where's... Oh, alright, yeah, fine. So then, okay, yeah, then we could like return a result of whatever, and I don't know what this is going to be. I think a JS value. Oops. What's the problem here? Huh? What am I missing? Oh. Expected error found JS value. Yeah, that makes sense. Error. I think I have a 2JS value, right? Yeah, 2JS. Or can I just return an error here? Let me just see before I jump to conclusions. Yeah, that was that whole thing. Fine. Okay. Dot map error. And then error dot 2JS. Nice. Compiles. Let's see what happens. Oh no, why aren't we seeing anything on the screen? Oh, because you have to call that initial render. That's going to be really annoying. I'm definitely going to want to refactor all the, not refactor, to like abstract over this. I wonder if I could do it in a, here we go, let's cb equals, I'm going to just comment all this stuff out for a second. I want to see if I can like keep it in a Rust callback, call it, and then pass it into this box. Actually, do I want to box it right away? I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. Can I do this? That's cool if it works. And can I just call it? And then shadow it. Let's move CB. As box. Here it's, oh. Does this work? Hey, that seems like it actually compiles and might work. Damn it. Nothing's visible. That is not good. Let's see if we're... Oh, wait. What about the scene? Mute scene equals scene dot borrow mute. Scene dot resize. It's really the same thing. Shoot. No. The parameter type T may not live long enough. Alright. Okay, snippet. Cool. Alright, I think I know the answer here is that this is somehow going to magically be static because I ran into it below. T is right static plus scene. I think that will magically fix it. Yay! And resizing, yes. That is definitely a milestone. Now it's like resizing all this stuff, everything's getting passed to the don't callbacks. I don't really get the static lifetime. Like the only way I understood it was that static means it's like outside of like the program. It's like the stuff that's like, you know, like I said before, it's like part of the binary somehow, but not really stuff that you can create. But oh, okay, you know what? On one foot, I'm going to bring up the chat just in case you wanted to talk about it. So, on one foot, I think I can kind of get it in a, in like a, I don't know what the word is, like not like a logical level necessarily, but like in a, it kind of makes sense level, that when we're calling from the WebAssembly to JavaScript and back, so from the WebAssembly's perspective, the stuff that like exists in that world of like, if we can send stuff outside of the program and then get back into it, like that's kind of conceptually the same idea as the static, like the static strings in the binary that aren't really part of the program, right? Like if, oh no, if I'm going to draw this out for a second, just it helps me like kind of think it through, because I think this is really important to get right, or to have at least a basic understanding, because I don't like this idea of like just throwing static fixed it, you know? I want to understand it a little more. So I'm in Linux and I don't know where Paint, like a Paint program is. Graphics, Paint, something. No way, I'm opening the GIMP. The GIMP is, I'm scared of the GIMP. Okay, so right, so I think if we have like, how do we change the fill on that? Yeah, that'll work. Just, and then text. Where's text? Oh, there's got to be text somewhere. Paragraph. Oh, text. Okay. Whoa, what the hell? You know what? I don't want to like get caught up on this. I'm just going to draw stuff. So if we have like, oh, come on, I don't have a pencil. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, right. So I think like if we think of, this isn't gonna work. I just want like pen and paper. Yeah, let me see if there's a program. Draw program online like Paint. Oh wait, don't you have your the Windows? You have Windows Paint in the browser, right? That'd be cool to use it. Right. Windows browser, right? Didn't you do that? Where is it? Was this? I forgot. Which was yours? Okay. All right. Anyway. Whoops. Draw. Okay. All right. That'll help. Yeah. I mean, I just want to draw a couple boxes, but yeah. Okay. So I mean, this is just really straightforward, but I think it'll just kind of help me conceptualize this. So if we have like the Rust, let's just say like the let's say Rust binary. That's kind of like this entire thing, right? And then inside of here, let's give this fill. Actually, not sure if it would be at like the beginning or the end, but if we have the runtime created things. Right. So I think the idea is that oh wait, let's add one more. Hard-coded strings. And there's more stuff that goes in here. Like I think anything that's declared as like a global constant or static, I think is like conceptually in here. So if I understood correctly, and I might be wrong here. Wait, let me bring up the chat box. Oh, I won't be able to easily have both open at the same time. Let me resize this just in case. Yeah. This is where I need like what is it? i3, the tiling manager. Need something like that. But anyway, I wish just like a pencil. Yeah, I keep looking at it. Like I just need to get myself like a giant monitor and have a good reason. Do you think it's worth getting into it for like small monitors if I don't really, or like bouncing stuff between two monitors? Like a scratch pad? Oh yeah, and it's still worth it. It's still worth it for like easily like tiling stuff around. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll definitely have to play with it. That makes sense though. But then you can easily like kind of like arrange those into preset. All right, I gotta think about that. So okay, all right. So what I kind of want to say is that like, okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna give it a shot at some point. So static lifetime. So I think the idea is that I want like a squiggle to like draw to everything, but whatever. I'm just gonna get carried away on this. But the idea that I'm trying to say is that one second, let me group these together. I'm not used to this trackpad either. Group. All right. So like kind of looking at it in terms of actual lifetime from like obviously a program like loops and stuff, but the loops that we can create are only gonna run in this orange area. And of course, there's like no, I mean, there is an end to the program, but it's not necessarily like, at this point, of course we could exit from the program anywhere, but still, I think conceptually for lifetimes, it helps to kind of think of like beginning and end, even though it's really about like scope. So I think the idea is that for static lifetime, it's the stuff that begins here, and then we have like our other lifetimes, and those are created. Ouch. Okay. Anywhere in here, and so that's why if we have something that that needs to be static, this is where I get confused with the language, and I hope that eventually I'll be able to like not sound so slow and stupid about these things like in the future, but I'm like trying to think of which outlives which, right? Like it's the static lifetime outlives the runtime created ones. But if it needs to be static for some reason, right, that's the issue. If it needs to be static for some reason, then like that's the problem, because the static outlives the runtime ones, right? So where was I going all this? Like, why am I just drawing this diagram of like stuff that's just like basic, Rust lifetime stuff? Is because of this, and this is like kind of the aha moment I had a minute ago. That I don't know if it's right, but I think it is that we have here, we have oh right, you could double click and type stuff. Okay, so now we have the JavaScript side of things, right? And I'm going to put this over here because I think the idea is that because JavaScript, well, actually, let me think this through. I mean, what I want to say is that anything that has to kind of cross this boundary is also conceptually like outside of this orange part, and therefore it must also have a static lifetime. So I want to say like, like this, that really it's actually kind of like this if we're going with this model. Let me make this a little clearer that it's like kind of something else entirely. So the idea is that like, what we end up doing, just what we just did with the event handler callback, is with the resize handler callback, is we wanted to have a two-way. Where's the other side of this? I want to make this two-way. I know we can. It's up here. Come on, it's gotta be. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. Okay. DOM callbacks and things. Really, it's more than that, but let's say it's like that. So I think this is. In fact, just for the sake of like clarity, I'm gonna also call this white, right? So from the perspective of the stuff that we're creating in the WebAssembly part, like if we want to communicate with either, not just communicate, but communicate with the stuff that's kind of outside of it. So by definition, it has to be a static lifetime because it's like, it can't know. I think that's the reason, right? Because it can't know what JavaScript is going to do with those values. So it has to assume that JavaScript will hold on to it forever, and therefore it has to be static. I think that's the idea. But even if that's not the reason why, like, I think just like conceptually of like thinking of, okay, this is the area where we create all our lifetimes and we can like use our own definitions, and everything that's outside of it, for whatever reason, has to be static. I know I came across a couple of things about that before, but I just want to see if like that turns up some basic like yeah, it's a good way of saying it. No, it does make sense. I want to see if it's a general thing with FFI. So like if we do Rust FFI static lifetime, I wonder if this is gonna. Whoa, what? Why is it printing? Okay. Rustonomicon. Uh-oh. The dark arts of advanced and unsafe Rust programming. Okay. Lifetime. Yeah. Once you cross the function boundary, you need to start talking about lifetimes. Lifetimes are no the apostrophe. Aggressive sugar. Okay, I'm not gonna like just read this thing out loud. Evidently, this is like an important book to read. Also, the Nomicon. But I haven't looked at it except like a couple glances yet. References that outlive references. I know we're gonna. Where's FFI? All right, yeah. Let's jump down to FFI. We're going to get something with static here. Targeting callbacks to Rust objects, yeah. Huh. Oh, whatever. Alright. It doesn't seem to be saying anything about lifetimes. I'm like kind of going through this quickly and like kind of scanning for keywords here, but static. All right. All right, to look into another time. But yeah, I think that like makes sense. So okay, I think I'm terrible with Git messages on my to-do list of stuff to like get better at in life. But okay, let's still commit something. Resize working. Oh, I'll push it later. I have to like add my key in and stuff, and don't want to make the same mistake I made before of like broadcasting that in the stream. So yeah, I'll push it later. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so alright, I'm happy we got a quad on the screen. Alright, so this resize thing, this is now generic. We have all the stuff is tucked away. I like putting brackets there. And the idea is that we now have our scene is also, I think, abstracted, that we're just calling, yeah, we just create a scene, we just pass it. I just want to make sure everything is set up that we can start like digging in more to like the specifics. So yeah, we have the render, we pass it down. I just want to, in the ticker, it shouldn't be doing anything specific to the quad, it should just be treating it as a scene. Scene.tick, great, it doesn't even know that it's WebGL, awesome. Okay, great, so now in our quad scene, that's where the magic happens. We're not going to need to do this. Oh, but we could. I think I was just like hinting. I'll just give a hint here. Okay, I think what I want to start looking at, alright, there's two directions I want to go to with a quad. One I've done before, and one I did, but I didn't bring it into my TypeScript render thing. So it's more like learning. So one is that I want to load a texture and start showing, like, the colors are nice, but we want to like load a texture and show it. And the other is I want to deal with instancing, GPU instancing, and I want to do that like earlier on, just because it's a cool thing to be able to do with like 2D textured quads. And then we could already like do some interesting performance tests and see like how well, like if there's like how well Rust as WebAssembly can like do in like a crazy stress test, like show like 1 million sprites on the screen or something. And without hardware instancing, it's not going to be as impressive. So, and then also with hardware instancing, with GPU instancing, it means that we can, like, we're more testing the CPU side of things, which is where Rust should be able to shine. So yeah, but I think one kind of builds on the other. Like once we could load textures, then we can like show lots of textures. So I guess let's get started with loading a texture. Okay. I don't know if I want to like necessarily push it to completion tonight, but I want to get started. It's also just like a general thing. Sometimes I like finishing things up, so that I pick up the next time like with a fresh start. But on the other hand, I actually a lot of times like leaving things half done, because then I feel motivated to come back to it. Because otherwise, when something finishes, you're kind of picking up the next time from, it's like it's a little heavy. It's like you gotta like motivate yourself to start with a whole new thing. But when you leave something off, also just, I don't know, like I think about it when I'm not in front of the computer. I like look forward to implementing the solutions. So sometimes leaving things half finished is actually a good thing. Speaking of which, I don't know, like the whole thing I'm using with these arrays. I'm using arrays instead of vectors, and I don't know if that's really the right way of doing it. But again, it's not part of the core library code, so for right now, who cares? All right. So first of all, I think I want to set this up as like a separate. Yeah. Oh, I already did textured quad. Okay, cool. Let's make this the default. Okay, I don't remember how I set up all the React stuff. It definitely wasn't very advanced. Okay. Menu, where's it getting the initial menu from? Oh, debug settings. Oh, that was good of me. Nice. Cool. Great. Alright, so why is it saying unknown scene? Where are we getting that? Unknown scene, scene component 72. Load WASM what? Why is that going to give us an issue? Lib. Ah, yeah, cool. Question is if I want to have like totally separate scenes for each thing. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, because we're going to want different shaders and stuff, and I think there's going to be more differences than similarities. I don't know. It's again something that would be like probably it's I think it's what, I'm gonna follow the approach the official WASM bindgen stuff took. React seems a bit overkill. Yeah, yeah. I mean the reason that I did it with React for like the sort of UI stuff is, first of all, it's just like my day job stuff, so I was able to knock it out really quickly. But second of all, eventually I want to have more complex menus, like with sliders and and maybe color pickers and stuff like that. I don't know how much of UI stuff I'm gonna need, and there's just like a lot of like also just React components I'll be able to grab and throw in there. I don't know. I'm not like married to it. It was just the real reason is just because it was easier for me to get going with it quickly. But yeah, definitely something that like might want to strip out if it's just going to be like buttons and like a few sliders. Especially now I'm getting more into CSS and stuff. I'm like less attached to like just installing third-party components. But okay. Yeah, right. Can you copy a whole I don't think I've ever done this. Like copied an entire directory with NerdTree. Should be able to do that, right? Let's try it. Quad texture. Yeah, cool. Alright, I'm gonna have to rename some of this stuff, but that's fine. The only thing that scares me that we're duplicating things is that, like, if I get some of these foundational, boilerplate things wrong, it's gonna be really annoying to go through and like replace it in all these. But whatever, not the end of the world. Okay, so mod texture scene and quad texture data. Oh yeah, I was saying that, like, why am I taking that approach? Oh wait. I should copy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I noticed that a little bit. Like just passing in a path will just like work and create the empty directories and stuff. It's great. But yeah, it did, and it did copy all the files. Oh, and recursively because it copied the shaders folder too. Anyway, okay, so let's rename this. I think when we get to hardware instancing, though, we will reuse this shader, because that's really just, not reuse this shader, reuse this, like, quad texture demo thing. It's kind of like just an extension of that, like an option. But whatever, we'll get there. Alright, see, already, like, I see I'm going to want to start naming things, like, to be more specific about, like, which... whatever. This should be breaking and giving me compiler errors everywhere. Why is it not? I think maybe just because I didn't include it from if I really hoping we get a lot more errors here. Right. modifying quad texture in basic. Alright, whatever. I think start solving things one at a time. Quad texture scene. No, that actually should be fine. Let's restart the Alright. You know what? Wait, what am I doing? I should just do the replace quad with quad texture. You know what, I'm gonna not do this. Just because it looks weird. Quad texture render. So renaming locals. Should we copy? Yeah, I also like, if you remember when you know, you helped me a lot with getting into Vim, and when I first did it, I also like, at first I was totally only using NerdTree just because I wasn't used to Vim yet, and then like I kind of also read articles and stuff, and just I felt guilty using it, so I stopped using it, and now I'm also in a different. I mean, you could just see like my normal workflow that like just kind of going back and forth, and sometimes just leaving it there as a, even if I'm not using it, as a reminder when I have enough screen space of like where things are at. So yeah, I think for like bouncing around between files, I don't really like using NerdTree, but for adding and renaming and stuff like that, it's great. I don't see why to go out to the terminal or whatever, or the file manager. And like you said, like a good picture of the structure too. Okay. Oh, regular expression. I don't even know if that was really, if that counts as a regular expression. Yeah, it was just search replace. But what's renaming locals? What is that? Maybe here I wish I had the tiling so I could keep this open like while I Google more easily. But oh, renaming what's under your cursor intelligently. Like throughout the file? Like if I just have, like I can, so like if I have this, I don't know if I want to do it on this file. Oh wow, okay, I totally need to remember that. Shoot, there were a few things tonight that that you mentioned that I really wanted to look into. Oh, you know what, I'll just look back at the chat. Or maybe just write, like, so I'll see my name also, like, note to self, check out renaming locals. Alright, I just have to remember to come back and look at this. There's some other stuff too, but yeah, I missed your messages here before, but yeah, I had the same issue. Right. Oh, I forgot there was another thing that I wanted. Oh, the snippets. That's what it was. I wanted to get into snippets. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, that happens a lot of where I want to rename something that's like under the cursor. And I've seen other people do it, and it never really clicked that like that's something that I should learn how to do. So yeah. Okay. Why is this not... Okay, unused import. Okay, so it's finding it, but then it's like not grabbing things from it. We totally have a... restart. That didn't do it. I've noticed that, by the way, this that the Vim plugin, the COC, right? That I also noticed that when there's it breaks down. I'm starting to get a sense of when it's definitive. When there's like a level, when there's an error in the module system itself, it seems like then that kills. So that kills the diagnostics and stuff. Like even if I try and restart it. Like even if I restarted Vim, it wouldn't work. At least in the past, that's where the error was. So I just want to like start looking there. So quad texture scene. No, I mean these should work actually. Oh no, because I didn't include it here. Yep. So let's see if that theory holds true. So now if I go to I forgot what I called it. Quanta, yeah, data's right. So now if I restart it, I don't even know if I have to restart it, but now I should start getting errors, or maybe there just aren't errors because everything is perfect. Alright, that's worth a shot. Oh, but I'm not seeing the scene, so it might actually be in the data file, which I also wasn't getting errors before. Shoot, but I think I'm not getting them now either. Let's see. Damn. No. Oh yeah, I am getting them. I don't. Oh, that's interesting. Look, it's not showing up in the in like the. Oh, it is. It was just too small. Okay, cool. Texture, vertex, texture fragment. All right, good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna quad instance, quad texture instance. What? Instance. Cool. Get this back to the beginning. All right. Match arms must have. Match arms have incompatible types. I was like wishful thinking there. Damn. I did not see that coming. That's totally insane and going to break everything that I was planning here with these like separate scene, that all that abstraction nightmare that not abstract of like refactoring so that I can just pass like these generic scenes. But I don't believe I don't understand how that's true. Because like I don't care what type they are. I mean I don't care what struct they are. I care that like what trait they have. I mean, like, what if I do it as a box and then unwrap it? Can I do that? Actually, no, I think this is like a Google thing. This is also like a core Rust thing, I think, that like I can't, this has to be a common problem. Okay, Rust match on different types but same trait. So exactly. Between different types of do food. Of any type that implements trait but be the same. Oh, okay. Return the type in a box. That's right. That's exactly what I was thinking. So let's see if. See if we could do that. I think I'm going to ask this on the Rust. Oh, let me see. I mean, I guess I could make like an enum to hold them all, but that's crazy. Object. Okay, trait object represents a pointer to some concrete type that implements a trait. Yeah. Traits are dynamically sized types, and because Rust needs to know everything in a component. What's Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask this in the Rust forum, and I think this is a good place to maybe call it a night and pick up next time. So Rust users. Yeah, I think I am. So yeah, I'll write this message out and then close it and pick it up another time. I'll match on different types. Just to make sure I'm not like re-asking this question. If I solve it like really quickly, maybe I'll continue on, but actually, I think I'm just going to respond to this. go through them. I already read these earlier. Alright, cool. Alright, man, I'm gonna call it a night. Yeah, and pick up from this tomorrow. Or whenever. I don't think... Yeah, tomorrow actually I won't be able to. Today's what? Today's Monday, right? Yeah, tomorrow I won't. And Wednesday also. Wednesday later night I might do a session. Cool. Awesome. Yay. I'm glad it was good for you too. Because again, because there's no voice feedback both ways, a lot of times I really have no idea what's going on the other side. But I could tell from your tone this time that it was cool. And thanks for all the tips and keeping me interested and focused also. I would have totally burnt out and lost energy a long time ago. So thank you. Alright, see ya. Oh, and Happy New Year. Totally forgot. Oh no, where did the window go? 1 second. YouTube. Oh no, I think I'm gonna get some weird audio feedback. Okay, cool. Oh, this is surreal. Whoa. Whoa, cool. You could see it going even further and further and further. That is really cool. I actually want to try that again. Watch this. It'll start. Oh no, wait, I have to I guess get off the screen for a second. No, there it goes. No, before it yeah, there. Now it's going more. That is so funny. It's infinite for sure, but what's interesting is that wow, this is so interesting because it's also based on time. So it's you can see it. So if I give it a few seconds for the stream to catch up to that. I mean, I don't know if it's the same on your side because I'm seeing kind of the instantaneous version and then the delayed and now it's going deeper and it's going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. But because of that delay, it's going to repeat that delay on each one. Yeah, it is going to be the same on your side. Right, it's just going to start a second later, but you're going to get that whole experience of it going. That is really interesting. All right, I'm going to think about that. All right. Happy New Year. Have a good night. All right.